Come to us, Craig.
No. Hello,
Hi, Craig.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let's go for it then. Narbonne, in the Provençal Tribunal, has been settled by the remnants of the Roman Empire for over 1,000 years, witnessing many conflicts and watching the intrigues of countless nobles. This is where Hannibal marched on Rome, where the imperial legions began their conquest of Gaul, and where Charlemagne halted the advance of the Moorish armies into Europe. Now, in the year of our Lord, 1222, King James of Aragon controls this region through his vassals, and Narbonne plays host to the struggles of the court of Toulouse, the ascension of the King of Aragon, the interests of the King of France, and the atrocities of the Albigensian Crusade, which I cannot pronounce. The River Aude flows from its source in the Pyrenees Mountains, then runs through Carcassonne, and finally reaches the Mediterranean Sea near the town of Narbonne. Several miles southeast of Narbonne lies the convent of Stella Duris. Situated near the left bank of the Aude River, Stella Duris is a cosmopolitan convent housed in a crumbling Roman villa, consisting mostly of Bonassagi, Flambeau, and Gerberton magi, but attracts magi from many houses and philosophies due to the encouragement of its senior members. While not yet in decline, it has long said farewell to its glory days. The Magi here have quietly worked alongside their neighbors, supporting the growth of the town of Narbonne to the west through the 11th and 12th centuries, while recovering from the long past founding members' participation in the Schism War and some forays against the Muslim occupation of Iberia. The old Roman villa has been modified, added to, and rebuilt several times over since its initial construction. Always reclusive, the Covenant members are often considered odd neighbors to the other local residents, but they tend to ignore them unless circumstances demand otherwise. The servants of an off-traveling merchant or a very minor lord on crusade may visit. The defenses are nearly non-existent. The structure is nothing remarkable, just a crumbling villa surrounded by some stables and other outbuildings. The Covenant seems to have taken a policy of simply hiding in plain sight. Stella Duris has one overarching tenet. They are individuals banded together for the sake of mutual protection and sharing resources. In fact, that attitude was the reasoning behind the selection of their Covenant name, referring to the stars that guide many explorers and playing on the multiple interpretations of the word Duris as committed, rough, and enduring. These Magi all have a loose interest in maintaining their home, but no uniting force to drive their Covenant. Members regularly skip meetings, bicker over the distribution of maintenance tasks, and try to find ways to keep to their own time. They like the proximity of Narbonne, but find the river does an excellent job of providing some measure of isolation from the mundanes. The current senior members of the Covenant are the elder Bonasagus Marcella, who is focused on uncovering a way to identify and harness the powers of a magical spirit in the river, and Jean-Marie, a follower of Gerberton, who has been looking for someplace pleasant to put down his roots. The Coven folk and grogs of Stella Duris are a mix of nationalities, brought to their Covenant by its various members over time. They seem to have blended well together, but occasional conflicts emerge. The staff members speak half a dozen different languages, which has led to most of the misunderstandings. But Marcella likes this diversity and encourages the Coven folk to keep their various language skills sharp. And so we will begin our story in the cell of Simon of Gerberton. And perhaps Simon would like to introduce himself and tell us a little about his background.
Hello. Well, you know, my name is Simon.
I like to do drawing.
Yeah. Simon doesn't necessarily want to tell you a whole lot about why he's here specifically, but you do know that you can tell that he's definitely from England. He doesn't hide that. And he'll happily tell you that he was from a town called Axminster in County Devon. And he has a particular love of corpus magic. And really all things living. Like he's got a great interest in people and animals and plant life, and you'll see him experimenting with growing various things. He loves to take little trips out and around the river and study the fish, and he'll go into the forest and bring back mushrooms and flowers. He'll be gone for a couple days at a time, coming back filthy and dirty, and apparently quite pleased with himself. One thing that's very obvious about him is he has a gentle gift. No one is upset around him. Animals like him as well as they like anybody. People as well. And he's pleasant enough. He doesn't mind chatting people up. And in fact, if anything, you see that he's kind of reckless.
I think you might have broken up a little bit, Damon. You might have noticed that he's a little bit reckless. Then what?
Yeah, he's a little bit reckless. And the wizards among you will have noticed that his magic is very subtle. He rarely has to speak much or even gesture much to exert his power.
Okay.
So Simon is quietly studying in his cell when suddenly there's a sharp rap at the door.
Oh, well.
Simon! Simon!
Yes?
Simon, you open the door, and there's Marius, a servant grog. And he says, quickly, you must come to the main hall.
Oh, what's the issue?
Jean-Marie wishes to see you immediately.
Well then, okay then. Off I go, of course.
Off you go. Okay. Then Marius continues down the hall and comes upon another cell. And in this cell is the Maga Gerthema of Bjornir.
Oh, hey!
And perhaps Gerthema would like to introduce herself at this point.
You know, she was just saying in the mirror exactly who she thought she might be. And she is of the house of Bjornir.
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 There's an N.
Yeah, so she specializes in... Well, okay, so she, I'm sorry, I have all this written down, and now I'm trying to find it. Her big magical thing is that she can shapeshift. She can shapeshift into an owl. And so they have a lot of animal magic is a big part of their focus. Let's see, what am I looking at? Animal and Muto, a lot of that kind of stuff. But part of the house's interest are the natural world, and so I kind of took that and I ran with that. With Gerthema, she does have the gift, and she did apprentice do the whole magic thing, but her focus of study and what she's here to do and learn about is kind of that intersection between sort of the mundane natural world, which is governed by a certain set of laws, apparently, and these magical powers that she acquired. It's also governed by a certain set of laws. You know, you need components, you need to say the right thing. Why? So she's very much looking at magic and the natural world as like part of each other, but are they opposed, and when do those rules check and balance each other? So that's the kind of stuff that she's doing. She's pretty practical, and she's pretty quiet, the animal that she can turn into, it's tied to her nature, and she turns into a barn owl, kind of solitary, kind of lonely, but very sort of keenly watching and paying attention to details. Oh yeah. So yeah. Oh, yes.
Character voice, go.
Yes.
Quickly! Jean-Marie needs to see you in the main hall. Immediately.
Whatever about?
He does not say.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm expecting this to be good, but I'll go along because it's, the head.
Okay, you make your way down. You make your way down through to the main hall. And Simon of Jerberton is already there, standing there sheepishly.
Just side note, I think it's pronounced Yerbaton.
You think it's pronounced what?
Yerbaton. I think the J's are Y's. I think.
Yerbaton? Are you? Oh yeah, well, we are in France.
More like jerk baton, am I right?
Yeah.
We're sticking with that one.
I can see why Horatio hates your guts.
Right.
Shall we tell them this, Simon? Okay, let's move along here.
I think his name would be pronounced Horatio.
Horatio? Horatio! Come here, please. This is my character voice now. Hello?
Does it have to be?
It has to be now.
Oh no.
Okay, you go into the main hall, okay? And it is a large fireplace with a fire roaring in it. And sitting by there is Jean-Marie, one of the elder magi.
Oh no.
And for some reason, he really, really doesn't like you, Simon.
Oh,
Can I get the name and title of that person again, please? You broke up for just that part.
Oh, Jean-Marie.
Oh, okay.
Spelled like it sounds.
Xan.
He is he's an 87-year-old magus.
Okay.
But has the appearance of a 45-year-old man.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
There you go. So.
Well, what can I do for you, Jean-Marie?
Yes, what seems to be the trouble?
As you're aware, we have gone through an extremely brutal winter, which your story guide should have told you about.
Well.
Oh.
He has now.
The winter has severely depleted our food resources and stores and damaged the roofs of the outer buildings. All of these need to be repaired and restocked and replenished. And as you know, the majority of our magi are attending a tribunal and are not available to do this. So reluctantly, I'm left to assign it to you, Simon of Yerbaton. And
Wow, he put a lot of stank on your baton.
And unfortunately, Madam Gertima, I must insist that you accompany Simon of Jerberton.
Unfortunately for who?
Wholly unreliable and untrustworthy individual.
Oh, now that's a little harsh.
Goodness.
Tell that to Horatio. Indeed. We all know what Horatio thinks of you and your gift. How flawed and limited he finds you as a magus.
Hey, I'm not in the room and I can smell this hostility.
Yeah, Gerthima is making herself so small. Like, she just wishes she could disappear right now.
Yeah.
I do not find it very reassuring when the head of your own covenant does not believe that you have passed your gauntlet. And seeing seeing how you've performed since you've arrived here,
Flawlessly.
I see no reason to question him. So please, Gertima,
Mm-hmm.
please watch him and make sure he does not just befoul everything that he touches.
I think that between our two skills, we'll be able to do a very passable job at making repairs.
You
to
have
gain
performed
supply.
admirably since your arrival here. Unlike this, he says he's a magus, but he's basically a hedge wizard.
Well, Simon, why don't I show you some of my initial plots?
Here is what I want you to do.
Oh,
Here is what I want you to do. I want you to take some hunters and some other grogs, and I want you to head to the river and take whatever you need, whatever we have left. You can take horses, take traps, take bows, take arrows, take whatever you need, nets. Bring back as many fish, game, rabbits, anything you can find to replenish the stocks.
yeah, yep. Okay, yes,
Is that clear?
absolutely.
Okay. You may leave then.
Well, I do.
And he Jean-Marie directs you outside into the main courtyard of the villa in order to gather a party to go to the river and forage.
Okay. How are you?
So, so you go out into the courtyard, and spring is very much in the air. Things are starting to green up again, but you do notice that the thatched roofs of most of the stables and the outbuildings and some of the grog huts have been greatly damaged by the snow and ice of the winter, and they're all feverishly trying to repair the holes in them and get them workable again. And you do notice out there in the yard, you do notice a knight who looks like he'll be useful, because it's always nice to have some protection
Mm-hmm.
for Magi when you're out wandering among the mundanes, because they don't like you, as you are well aware. But as you go out there, you do notice among all of the usual rabble a man who appears to be a knight conversing with a rather portly man of the cloth, let us just say. And a man in some rather resplendent finery, who's seems to be holding a lute. Do you think perhaps these people will be worth speaking to?
Are these people part of our covenant, or have we seen them before?
Yes, they live within the covenant walls.
Oh. Well, then I am certain I am good friends with them. Especially if they have a poor opinion of Jean-Marie.
As you guys approach closer, you hear the knight saying to the portly bishop, "Now, see here, good man. This is an authentic shield of St. Lucius. I had it appraised and everything. It's very real, I assure you."
In London and Pad.
Nope, that's Saint Ignatius.
Once your lack of knowledge of the canon, the canonicity of your own church astounds me, sir. This is quite
I dare
obviously
say
the sign of St. Lucius.
Wow, I could listen to this.
I
forever.
am a student of the divine.
I'm just like kind
And
of
I must
tuning
say,
my
that is
lute
the
and staying
sign
clear of it.
of St. Ignatius.
What do you think, sir? Luteman?
I focus in on my
Sir
lute and tune
Luteman?
it and don't want to get engaged in this particular argument.
Actually, what does
Not only am I a student of the divine, I am insanely well traveled.
what does Simon and Gertrude look like again?
Simon's just kind of average looking male.
About how old is Simon?
You said we're 1222?
Yep.
So he would be, why is this so hard?
Is he 26?
Be 27.
27.
Okay. And Gertrude's probably about the
You
same age.
look 26.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm about. Well, I wrote down 30, but yeah, 30, 25, 30. I figured very, very, very pale hair and pale eyes.
Gotcha. Cool. Excuse me, wizard people. This shield, it's obviously a shield of St. Lucian. Wouldn't you agree?
What's important is how much you can
I'm gonna
carry on
eye
it.
roll.
Is it large enough that you can carry several, say, game on it or some fish that we can haul back? Yes?
Well, of course I could.
Well,
But
in that
that's
case,
not really the
you're with us.
question, is it?
Come,
What?
we have hunting and gathering to perform. And you look like you need something to do. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's actually rather apt. And some game sounds rather good. This past winter has been just rather terrible, and I grow tired of bread and tack.
And wait, so Brent, since I guess I'm supposed to know who you are, what's your character's name?
Oh yeah, sorry. So my character's name is Guy de Sacrificiable.
Yeah.
Guy is a knight who has been stricken with an unfortunate ailment. He has the curse of Venus upon him, which means that anyone that he would not be attracted to has a good possibility of being attracted to him, hitting on him, and what have you. Conversely, anyone that he is attracted to finds him repugnant. So burdened with this terrible curse, he initially came to the Covenant for guidance and help, but finding that there was nothing to be done, he decided to stick around to perhaps make a name for himself with adventures with wizards and stuff. His words, not mine.
Cool. And Cam, did you take Garçon Amaro?
He's
Yes,
got
I did.
Son Amaro.
Perfect.
And that's the priest or
Yep.
priestly.
Priest.
Do you want to
Friar.
introduce yourself? Friar.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
that makes sense.
Friar. So yeah, Friar Garcon. Friar Garcon
Briar Garkin!
Okay.
came to the Covenant a few years ago after having wandered for several years around the continent. He had been a student in a seminary in a different part of France, but upon getting struck by lightning and walking away without a scratch, was given the boot for witchcraft. And yeah, he's been wandering several years and has settled in the Covenant recently.
Ah,
And I'm Berengar, the bard, a very talented bard, a fellow wanderer, actually. Had wandered from an early age from tavern to tavern and then noble house to noble house. I'm actually fairly wealthy by the standards of a wandering musician, not by the standards of a nobleman. I could have pretty much set up shop in any court in the land, but then something seemed unfair to me. An artist who painted or a sculptor, their art would live forever, and my music will fade away after me. So I found myself on the trail of magicians, of wizards, and ended up here in the hopes that I'm very ambitious, in the hopes that there could be some magical means of preserving my brilliance for posterity. And I help around the place by being able to talk to normal humans and appeal to them.
Nice.
And I would recommend, if you're out seeking game, Berenger says, Jacques the Poacher, I think, is not far away.
He sounds valuable.
Who's this Jacques the Poacher?
Is that what we refer to as Jacques the Poacher?
Yeah, so Jacques is from a local village where every third boy was named Jacques. So, Jacques the blacksmith, Jacques the farmer to the east, Jacques the farmer to the west, and his natural skills tended toward hunting game legally and or illegally. Hence, Jacques the Poacher.
You know, in Jacques' defense, sure, in that town, 1 of every 3 babies is named Jacques, but 1 of every 3 Jacques dies in infancy. So it's not as common a name as you might think.
Jean-Marie yells from one of the upper windows.
Oh, God.
What are you two doing? A priest and a bard? You're supposed to be assembling a foraging and hunting party, not arranging a wedding.
Gertheva wishes she could fall into the earth right now. What is this energy so far this morning?
Fine.
Yeah, like she.
Let's get Jacques and let's get you, and you people are sociable. Come, let's go to the river. Let's get some fishing done, and maybe we can send.
Bard.
I'll go with Jacques into the.
Hey, Bard.
Jean-Marie calls to the bard. Bard.
Yes. Yes, sir. By the way, Jacques is very polite to Jean-Marie because he sees where not Jacques. Berenger is very friendly to Jean-Marie because he knows where the bread is buttered here.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Jean-Marie is normally a very nice guy, according to the text. He just Simon has got him off on the wrong foot.
Yeah. Simon's all up everybody's ass. Yeah.
He says, Bard.
Yes.
Please, play these coven folk a song to cheer them in their work.
Okay. I will do so. I'll play a merry little tune on my lute. I can even fire up my enchanting music ability to actually try to instill a mood of confidence in them.
Oh. Can you play Canonicity by the Police?
Sounds marvelous.
I'll do Synchronicity 1. Doon, 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 doon. Do you want to roll for that column, or?
I don't believe you need to roll for that, do you?
Okay. No, I mean I can just. I don't think much is at stake here. I'll just play a jaunty little hunting song. As I tune up on last time, you won't. Will I need to change? Do you need me to go to the river with you for some reason?
You don't. You may. You could switch him out for the grog if you'd rather.
Yeah, I think Jacques more useful on a hunting expedition. and Berenger would be damn near useless. So,
all right.
Unless we have to.
While you're playing your song, give me one moment while I go and find a bottle opener.
Okay.
I've got one. You need it?
So Cam,
yes, I'll play a charming song about a young squire who rides upon his horse down the old town through road. He rides the horse till he can no longer ride it.
Wow.
And he makes observations about people he sees along the way.
That sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Get up off your
What a bop.
It's been rather viral, actually.
So when Moggy go out, right? So we want protection grog, so we can send Shot Long along with us.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you don't want mute bald guard? He is a large, mute, tough boy.
No, we'll take them both. Like
Yeah.
Shot Long he's also a warrior type. So
Okay.
we've got protection for the Moggy, was what I was saying, and then Jacques who can do some skills.
Hell yes.
So if Becky and I have our Magu, have our mage characters, and
Our Magus!
then the grogs are settled out amongst the rest of yous. Enjoy.
And I imagine Jacques, has everybody seen Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
You know when they go to the farmer and they need to bring the old cop along to translate because he speaks the local dialect so strongly?
Is that, yeah.
That's Jacques. Right? Like you can kind of understand him, but it takes a little work. He's not going to.
Boomhauer.
He can talk to locals for you, but that's about like the local farm folk. But that's about it.
I'm trying to think of a French section that's going to be almost as unintelligible as like a really thick Welsh accent or like
So
like heavy Scottish.
So this is probably a little bit of metagaming. Damon, you had said that we needed protection for the Maggie. So are you implying that Guy is just not enough? Or
no, I just assumed I thought I got the sense that you weren't coming. Maybe my
no.
Yeah,
Guy would love to go hunt.
He is coming. All right then.
Yes, he's coming to hunt. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we could still use a hunter.
No, that still gives us 3 grogs.
Mhm.
This is our first time playing, right? So like
Yeah.
the whole point of having grogs around is there's always characters for somebody to play, even if it's not their primary one. So for
Yeah.
example, if it makes no sense for Cam's companion to come along, there are grogs he can pick up.
Right.
Oh, I got
Which
it.
is kind of what I'm doing here. Like Berengar, not useful on a hunt, but that's all. I'll be Jacques, metagame wise.
Okay.
Or shot. Or
Huh.
what's the name of the other one, Brent?
Oh, mute.
Right. So you see how this works?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I got you
the
now.
grogs are in the pool so that everybody always has a character to play, if not more than one.
Okay. Well, for Guy, he would love to go along over Mute, I would say, just because although Mute might know the area better.
No.
Well, we could bring both then. Yeah.
Mute can also come.
Okay. All right.
All the grogs are all communal characters. All of them.
Gotcha.
I will say that the area you're going to is quite nearby. You're not venturing into the wilderness or the wild frontier here. So
Well, but hopefully we'll need people to carry game back if all goes well.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing
he's
else.
got that big shield.
If everything you're gonna need more than that. You're trying to replenish the stocks.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, we need bodies. So it may be that we don't need Shotlong's, axe, but he can certainly do a lot of carrying and help out.
Yeah, and you can assume that the Covenant is giving you a cart and some horses and barrels to put fish in and whatever. So you can assume that you have all of these.
Yeah.
All right.
So you just want to make sure that you've got, the right people for the job.
Sweet.
Which I'm looking now that I'm really looking at Mute. I'm not really seeing anything in his abilities that would lead me to believe that he's. In fact, Mute probably wouldn't come along because if he is a guard for the Covenant, then he probably wouldn't be taken off the post for this. Does that make sense?
If that's his job at the Covenant, is to guard the
Yeah,
Covenant.
but the Covenant's not in any danger. I mean, we get on extremely well with the Mundanes over in Narbonne. And,
And the head honcho seemed pretty worked up about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, more the merrier, I say.
Yeah.
Okay,
just take everybody. Why the hell not?
Yeah, all right.
everybody.
I wasn't. I had a moment where I was like, okay, is it going to be too much for me to swap between two characters really quickly, or or if someone
again, Brent, the thing to keep in mind is a grog doesn't actually belong to a player. A grog belongs to
Yeah, they're somewhere between NPC and player character. They're kind of a hybrid, it almost seems like.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Except Jacques Spettle.
I'm not keeping the.
That's why eventually we're going to want Mute stats so that anybody can pick him up when we need him.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, okay. So are you guys happy enough with your party then?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get to the river.
Okay. So you start heading out towards the outer wall of the Covenant. You pass by the graveyard of the Covenant and through the main gates, and you just start heading out towards the river. It's a fine spring morning. Birds are singing. Grass is growing. Trees are blowing.
Listen to that grass grow. Damn.
There you go.
I might want to grow a little bit more of it. I'll just, every now and then, I'll wave my hand a little and mumble a few things and make the grass just a little bit greener.
Mm.
Nice.
Guy is going to look over at Gutama?
Yeah.
Gutama and say, so, what you up to over there?
I am canonically repulsed.
Which means I have a chance.
Which means I have a chance. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, how does that work?
No, yeah, she like does a smile where it doesn't reach her eyes and nods and kind of like walks closer to Simon so that maybe he's like blocking line of sight. Sorry, dude.
So you continue on uneventfully.
So how far a trek is it to where we're going? Like hour? Or...
It's about an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's only like 3 miles or so. It's not far.
Okay.
So you're like a wizard. That's
So you're
cool.
like a wizard.
So Jacques, I assume, is leading the way since he knows the trails around here really well. If that's okay with everybody.
Mhm.
I do want to make it very clear that on the way over that that Guy made it very clear that he's very good at hunting deer. He wanted to assure everyone that there will be at least two does brought back today by my own arrow.
Yep.
And are you equipped with a bow and arrow?
Quiet silence.
He must be in order to be good with a bow and arrow.
Does this lance count?
Because I know that scruffy little Jacques is.
Listen, I might need to borrow the bow and arrow, but it will still be my. But wait, okay.
So wait, I assume we can check some things out of like our limited stores at the Covenant. Like
Right.
Yes.
we've got some hunting bows and fishing gear and
Yes.
things like that. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, you've got nets. I know Jacques has a longbow,
Oh yeah.
so he's equipped.
So I guess that's
Oh, he's got a longbow. That's
Mhm.
an impressive piece of equipment.
Hell yeah. And Jacques along the way is looking for signs like deer signs and other animal signs, but he knows really with these loud, clumsy people trailing along behind him, until he can split off from this group, we're just going to scare every damn animal a mile away.
Does he need
Just
to do
as that
does
thought-
Jacques need to do a roll on that?
I mean, if you want me to, my assumption is I'll lead people, get some people start fishing and whatnot, and I'll lead skilled hunters out to try to actually hunt for real.
Yes, but first let's establish a base camp. It's incredibly important. And I know that because I'm very good at hunting.
Very well. You could go ahead and establish a base camp.
Okay, Guy
An hour
arbitrarily
away from home.
establishes a base camp by putting a couple of rocks on top of each other and says, "All right, we've established a base camp."
Are we even at the river yet?
Yes, you're at the river.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
You've approached the area of the river. But maybe perhaps Jacques. Yeah, perhaps Jacques would like to do a scan of the area.
Okay.
Rob. So what would that be? That would be a perception roll.
Yeah. Well, I've got wilderness sense also.
Okay.
Or hunt. Well, that's more once I know I.
Let's go with wilderness sense for
Okay.
now. Just
All right.
so he's just getting the general feel of the area.
Yeah. So wilderness sense plus perception, you're saying?
Sure.
So that's a +5. Ooh, can I do roll? Can I do D10 +5 as a roll? Do we have to do the
I
math?
was wondering
ourselves?
about that.
Let's
I
find
want
out.
to see.
Oops, except I have a straight ladder here. Hold on.
Yes, it would be D10 plus a 5.
Yep, that works. Sure.
Oh, as the roll, does it? No, it didn't.
No, nothing's
Oh.
happening.
But
Well, you didn't have your space.
No, you didn't do a roll
Oh.
1d10. You did
Okay,
a
hold
roll
on.
roll
space 1d10
Roll.
plus 5.
1d10. I see what you're saying. Plus
Roll
5.
space. 1d10. Roll.
So
space.
13.
There we go.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Say,
Okay.
2D.
Okay, one thing you notice about the area is it seems to be teeming with little critters, little rabbits.
Okay.
Not much eating in rabbits, but there's a lot of rabbits, a lot of voles, a lot of mice.
Great. Sergey, you
There's
met the
certainly-
mice.
There's certainly the fish are
And
the
as
fish are certainly
we-
jumping in the river, and there's some sizable fish. But one thing you notice is that there seems to be very little bird activity.
You son of... Okay.
Oh, I
Um,
would have noticed that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Garthama definitely noticed that, like, as soon as it was weird. If there's usually like birds at this time of day or like this time of year, a big part of her studies have been like
Where
they are and what they are when. So
'cause they
them
were
not
singing-
being there.
They were singing away all to the journey here, and now that you're here,
Not
they
so
seem
much.
No.
they seem noticeably absent.
Okay. So I'm definitely my antenna are up with that situation. My focus isn't with small animals, but I have a lot of, let's see. I'm trying to I want to interrogate a vole. No.
Who do you work for?
I want to
Why did I say there were
Upset you.
voles?
Why did I say they were voles? I wanna be asking of the small rodent fauna, what brings them here? Is it like, maybe it's a magical force that they just showed up or whatever?
So have you found a vole to interrogate?
You said they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be relevant to our party. I have quiet magic and subtle magic, and I'm inoffensive to animals.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can cast a subtle spell, and my gift still repels people, but animals don't get extra wig, or they don't get wigged out at all. I have animal ken. So,
You can talk with them.
yeah.
Okay, so you come across a vole.
Yeah. I sidle off to the side and I sit still for a little while. And if they're really teeming all over the place, one is probably going to run by my hand in a second, and I'll take that opportunity.
One surely does roll by your hand, and not only he stops and he sniffs your hand, and you open your palm, and he just crawls right into your palm, and he just
Okay.
looks up at you.
Okay.
Would it be appropriate for Guy to see this?
So,
Because I really want Guy to watch this.
this would probably be...
I cast ball of invisible flame.
What? Okay, so I think this is going to be...
Well, just use your animal ken skill.
Yeah, you
Is
can
animal
just,
ken? It's talking to animals.
yes, you can just talk to animals.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Yeah. Okay.
No,
Awesome.
you don't need to do anything. If it was an Italian vole, then you'd have to
There's
speak
no
Italian.
talking to them anyway.
I mean, yeah, why would you talk to an Italian vole?
Yeah. So
Enough
It was a
for the
pleasure
French
talking
one.
to you, Gertama.
I'm walking here.
hey, come
I'm a
on!
bull!
Oh, what do you want from me? So yeah, Gertima, she asks the little vole, there are a lot of your cousins around. I don't know. I was gonna do like a German submarine movie German accent, like 30s really bad cartoon, but I'm not gonna do that instead.
Yeah, Viz.
And why are all of your friends here? Tell me, little mouse. What are you and
Do
all
the
of your
accents.
cousins doing here?
I really need this.
Nuggets!
Voice. What?
What?
Nuggets,
Nuggets?
nuggets,
What's
nice
what-
nuggets.
Nuggets of what?
Nuggets. Good
Where?
nuggets.
Show me a nugget.
Of course, nuggets of nuggets.
Here. He crawls off the palm of your hand and just rummages around in the dirt and just holds up just an indistinguishable piece of dirt and goes, Nuggets!
May I please have this?
My nugget!
Okay, of course, it's yours. Thank you very much.
The vole just devours the piece of dirt, or whatever it is eating. Some seed.
What happens to him after he eats it?
Nothing. He's just still sitting there.
He
He's
doesn't.
he's not afraid of you.
No, but he's not like immediately going for another one.
He's
He's not like starting to scratch his arm or something.
he's pretty tense. Yeah. He's pretty
He's pretty
tense.
Hey,
tense.
Gertima,
Yeah.
Gertima.
He's looking around because there's a lot of nuggets.
There sure are.
Gertima,
Okay.
he's
There
not a
sure
teammate.
are.
Ask him about the birds.
Hey guys, I gotta let the dog out real quick. I'll be right back.
That's what they're calling it.
That's what they're calling it.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh. If you don't mind me asking, where there are usually so many songbirds around this river. Where are they right now?
Gone. More nuggets.
I understand entirely. Thank you. So.
What did you learn?
Into a mouse?
Yeah. So yeah, I go. I relay to Simon. I want to indicate to him that we should be digging around in the dirt. I'm probably, actually, you know what? I'm probably not aware that it's going to make us look like a couple of weirdos. I wanna be bringing his attention to the rodent situation, and tell him that we're looking for nuggets. Nuggets.
What?
I look over at Jacques and I say, wizards are weird people, right?
So, what do you mean we're looking for nuggets?
There was something that the vole said. Don't you notice how there are dozens and dozens of rodents, but no birds?
Yeah, I noticed the lack of birds. Did you ask him where the birds went?
Well, he couldn't tell me about that. He seemed very singularly focused on this substance in the soil. He just kept calling them nuggets. They don't
So
look any different to me.
So in other words, he's focused on eating.
Voles eat tree roots.
Yes,
Voles
but
eat
there's something.
bulbs and nuts.
Yes, but there must be something extraordinary about this place and time because, I mean, as we have experienced, very hard winter. But here seems to be thriving, or at least. So I'm very in character, not able to articulate any further. So she just starts like rooting around, kind of looking to see if she can differentiate in the soil some of what the vole pulled out. Like is the soil all the same consistency, or are there like tiny roots and tubers in there?
Show to me your nuggets.
Show to me your nuggets.
So you notice a little rabbit. A rabbit comes hopping lazily by and just kind of stops and looks at you.
I will. I'll put it in a good frame of mind. I'll go ahead and cast Soothe the Ferocious Bear to completely calm it down.
What?
No,
Sorry?
it's a spell called Soothe the Ferocious Bear. Like,
Oh,
Soothe.
okay. I missed the soothe part.
You blinked out for just the word soothe.
oh, yeah. I'm gonna cast Kill the Ferocious Bear.
You just made
Yeah.
this rabbit explode.
Yeah, just to completely make it calm.
Cool.
Please just a stress roll, because if not, otherwise I'm just gonna make it.
Well, the rabbit's already quite calm.
Oh,
He's not
He's not
afraid of
looking at
her.
oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
No,
If it's
not
not
afraid of
necessary,
her.
then I won't worry about it.
Mm-mm.
I say, Gertima,
Yes.
maybe you'll get more information out of a rabbit.
Perhaps. And then I sidle up to him and I post my elbow up on the bar. I say, "So you come here for the nuggets?"
He just chews grass and he says, "Nuggets? What are nuggets?"
As they're what the voles are eating these days. Tell me.
You don't want to talk to voles. Voles are idiots.
Oh, I
Fair.
want to talk to everybody.
All Volts talk about are nuggets.
What do
Now you know.
I should just play animals in role-playing games.
It's really fucking working for me.
Tell me.
I'm so tell me about your nugget.
Could I stack a bunch of you and your Volt brothers up together? No, I asked the rabbit what, there's dozens of you and your kind around here, and I happen to notice that there's not many birds. Is there something going on, either in the forest to push you away or here in the river to bring you?
The birds left.
Do you know why?
The river frightened them away.
The river itself?
Colm.
The rabbit just hops away.
Yeah, so Colm.
Yes?
So when did we first notice there were no birds?
When you were setting up camp.
When we were where?
When you were setting up
Stacking
our
2 rocks, yeah.
Base
camp.
camp.
No,
Far
they were-
away from-
Base
Thank you.
camp, Simon.
let me put it
Remember
this
where
way.
it is. You may need to come back here.
Let me put it this way. How far back towards the covenant will I walk before I hear a bird again?
Oh. 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, so a good distance.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah,
I
they
say
just seem to be keeping their distance. I mean, you can see them in the distance.
in the distance. Can
Yeah.
so there's like an invisible wall.
It's just at this time of day you would expect to hear many
Simon-
more birds than you're hearing.
But you see what I'm getting at? Like, is there like an invisible wall line they're just refusing to cross that I'm not really seeing?
Well, what I would say,
Well,
what I'm going to say,
it would be invisible.
That's
what
that's,
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
what I'm saying to Simon is that the other head lady, the other Maga, Marcella, I think that this might have something of her interest here because she's looking for a spirit in the river. But that being said, I don't think it's going to help with our ration situation, though. But we'll want to tell Marcella when we get back.
Yeah.
Jacques says, my lady, can I shoot some of the rabbits or are they friends of yours?
Well, we're going to be very hungry, but don't shoot that one. Start on
Jacques really tries to memorize what rabbit that is.
Just start going the other direction and then
Okay.
do what you have to do.
Okay.
Would
Well,
I must be a vegetarian? I have.
I'll begin fishing with whoever happens to be around, and I'll
Jacques, would you care
I'll
for a
go
quick
fishing. I don't
competition?
have the heart for hunting.
Oh,
So once again.
I said I'll go fishing. I don't have the heart for hunting.
Great.
Oh.
I'm compassionate.
So you just take
a
the nets
major
and you
flaw.
go fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, well you go fishing and you're just. Is somebody going to help him with the nets, or is it just going to be him?
I
No,
think
I'm
that
helping.
Okay,
Yeah.
they've got it.
I'm helping, and I'm sure we can get a grog to help out.
hmm
so you guys
I
are
am clumsy. This should be noted.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
got the mute bald guard helping with the fishies. He's like at least 6 foot.
Calm.
Good reach for the net.
Oh,
Mhm.
perfect.
Were we told there was like material goods that we could have gathered? Like we don't need to be cutting firewood. Like, did we need to get something
No,
for
this is
repairs or
pure-
something like that?
This is purely food.
Okay.
This is a purely food thing.
I'm going to
I
collect...
will also mention that Garcon
Uh-huh.
has a slight sense of unease about the area that you're in.
Okay.
Ooh, this area makes me uneasy, you guys.
I'm going to be collecting edible plants and herbs, including like medicinal herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not doing the hunting fishing thing, but I'm trying to help.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Garcon, what are you sensing? What's the problem?
I don't know. What am I sensing?
Just a sense of unease.
Okay. It's just
quiet.
general
just a
underlying
tinge that
feeling that I'm
something's
getting.
not right.
I can't put my finger on it, but there's
If I look across the
something-
river column, if I look across the river, is it like the same condition as here? There's no birds.
Yeah, it's just pretty countryside, but yeah, there don't seem to be too many birds going on. Other than that, the area seems perfectly normal. The other animals don't seem bothered. Just the
Okay.
birds.
Speaking of which, Jacques, would you care for a friendly wager?
Hey?
I think that
Did you say I? Is
I'm
it Jock
translating.
now? Are you Jock now?
I haven't decided where to go with the accent here to convey that sense of like extreme local, you know.
Eh.
Oh, right, okay.
Just sound like you're.
Just say ho 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 to everything. Ho 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 ho.
What sort of wager?
I think that I can shoot more deer than you in a single day.
I can do anything better than you.
I ain't seen deer yet.
Ah.
You mentioned on my roll that I hadn't seen any signs of deer, Column.
No, you just saw. No, I didn't mention any deer, did I?
Okay. No.
So what is Jacques doing? So Jacques and Guy are heading off together, are they then?
Yeah. So I
Hunting
guess.
and
So I don't know who's in charge here, as far as Jacques would assume.
oof, well,
Always the major.
he would
Hey.
have he would have he's not a magus.
No.
I would assume the
He's
major.
not.
But
knows-
he's a knight though, so he's got a higher social standing than you.
Yeah. Okay, that's good enough for me. Lots of rabbits, no deer, and you can look further for deer or get rabbits here.
Well, you could get rabbits. Let's just assume you could just get rabbits like.
Oh yeah,
second
that's
nature.
all. No, I'm asking Guy, like, get rabbits here or search farther for deer.
Oh dear, my good man.
Well,
I want to eat as the Parisians in the capital eat.
okay.
Parisians in the capital, Venice. Venison.
Venison.
Listen,
Okay. I guess we'll range a little further away from this noisy crowd to see if I can find any sign of deer, Column.
Okay, so the two you start heading further into the undergrowth out
Mhm.
towards the river more.
Okay, and I'm
Away-
moving,
away
you know,
from everyone else.
in my good stealth survival style, and hoping that the knight is doing the same.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he actually is pretty. And again, I'm just trying to interpret the ability scores here. He does have 2 points in hunting deer,
Oh, okay.
so I'm going to assume that despite all
been
of his
hunting before,
bluster,
okay.
he actually does seem like he knows what he's doing.
All right. Jacques gives you a grudging nod.
Yeah.
Except he didn't bring a bow and arrow.
Well,
Oh, I thought we said
we
he
discussed this.
We're saying he's got them. So are both
equipped
of you,
one at the Covenant, I think. Yeah.
both of you are
Yes.
equipped with
Or
longbows.
maybe I brought a spare.
both
for
of you are.
this scenario.
Let's just do that. You give him
Okay.
your spare because that's more
Right.
demeaning to.
Guy
So
needs it.
you're both armed with longbows then. Okay. Well, deer are quite stealthy, obviously, so you're probably going to need to do some rolls to
Okay.
flush them out or detect them. You're definitely seeing some signs. You know, you're seeing there's some dung that's relatively fresh,
Hmm.
some broken twigs.
Good signs, these.
Are they? I know fuck all about deer.
Yeah, you know,
I can
deer
I can
walking
take
through
over and
forest
pilot
sniffing
if you want me
twigs.
here.
I
at
see
this
a
point.
pack
No,
of
no.
the kind of cigarettes that deer like to smoke.
You stick to your fish. You stick to your fishing, fat man.
Beer bottles that the deer like to drink.
Very
There you
specific
go.
brand for the deer.
Mhm.
Look, Jägermeister. They must be close.
They must be close.
Can't be far.
Oh,
Okay, so
what
we're off
can-
hunting.
You're off hunting, you two. So, what can we have you? What can we have you roll? What has Jacques got? Well, it's obvious it has to be perception. You'll be going to do your perception and hunting. Your hunting, maybe.
Hunting is good. Okay. And I'm supposed to get a
perception,
tracking as a specialty.
that's a 5 and a 10 again.
Okay, a 10 sider plus
And
5.
Yeah, and it's probably going against let me see. Let me check my charts. I mean, it's going to be fairly straightforward. Where are my ease factors? It can't be much more than a 6. Go ahead and just roll.
Let's see, 3. And you said perception? Okay.
Yeah. Let me say. Okay, we'll say it's
Wait, God damn it.
How would you consider? Would you consider hunting deer average or hard? Average would be an ease factor of 9. Hard would be a 12. You'd have to be.
Yeesh. Okay.
So you got a 5 and a.
There's your 12, my friend.
Okay, that'll do.
I screwed up.
Okay.
I guess you can't do capital R in the roll, is what I've just learned.
Oh no, I don't think
It's a
so.
tiny
Okay.
R.
Okay, so yeah, you see about 15 paces out. You see a good-sized doe.
Mm-hmm. Doe?
So yeah,
A deer?
A
A
female.
female deer?
female deer. Yeah.
How far is a pace?
How far is a pace?
Yeah.
Half a fathom.
Between a hop
Approximately a yard.
between a hop and a skip.
Okay.
I think it's about a third of a furlong.
It is
It's approximately a yard.
It's about a yard.
a inch of a hectare.
What's the arc cubits? It's 1.5 cubits.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Shall I take a shot?
I think you should take a shot with your longbow.
So I'm seeing it's dex plus
A
ability
longbow.
plus weapon.
Dex
Which
plus
gives me a-
ability plus weapon, which gives you an attack of an 11.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at me reading the charts.
10
Attack.
plus. So it's a D10 plus 11 then.
Yes. Oh. Just slayed. One down.
A fine
Alright.
shot.
Your turn.
Okay, so you venture further. Okay, so now,
Well, we should probably deal with this one so scavengers don't get it, I guess.
well, while you're dealing with that,
Okay. Yeah.
he will venture.
Okay.
Venture further in. What about you, Guy? Do you have any abilities in hunting?
Yes, I do. I have hunt deer for 2.
You too, and then what is your perception
My
under
perception,
characteristics?
is that going to be abbreviated as PER?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 0.
Okay, so you are going to be rolling a D10 on a 2. So you are going on D10 and 2. And did we say a 9 on the ease factor? So you need a 9 or better.
Really?
It's a
I'm
deer.
not as good at deer hunting as I thought it was.
It's a deer. It's a deer. They're not easy.
Oh.
Oof.
Aw.
Oh.
There are no more deer around here.
Last one.
Well, this forest seems rather scarce.
And you hear a branch, a large branch snap, and you both
Pterodactyl.
you both look up.
Mhm.
And about 30 paces across the river on the other side is an enormous stag.
Whoa.
Shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, it could feed the Covenant for weeks.
For a day.
Weeks. No, weeks.
For
It's
weeks.
big. Weeks.
How big and deep is this river?
Actually, at this point of the river, it's not very wide. It's only about 20 paces wide, whatever that is.
So if we were
And-
to conk the
About a yard.
Oregon Trail wagon, we could probably get across it.
It may be. You'd probably wade across it to the middle. The middle's gonna probably come up to your neck. How tall are you?
5'4".
Oh, 5'4".
Jacques not a tall fellow.
Jacques
I mean,
can,
by
Jacques,
1200 standards, that's not bad. I guess.
Jacques can
Not
swim,
particularly
though.
short. Oh
Jacques
yeah,
can- yes, you could swim, so that's
true. But can I drag a deer across a stag across a river? That's my concern.
Oh, you got wizards.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
And you got
can also just
you
take
also
a
have
20-yard shot.
you also have nets.
Okay.
Would the magic users here have any kind of spidey sense about this animal? Like, would it have I don't even know if this is a mechanic in the game where, like, if it had a spell on it, is there any kind of like passive perception type of detect magic that we have that goes on?
You can
Or is that-
actively detect magic by doing Intelligo spells.
Right. But we wouldn't just like feel the presence of another magical being.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
That also might scare it off. Although
Yeah.
you have both of you have like quiet magic
Yeah.
or subtle magic.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't scare it off necessarily.
So you're
Well,
not
I
going
mean-
to, are you?
Honestly, I'm not
Really?
like I'm not following these guys. That I'm probably just, you know, much farther away. I probably don't know this scene is going on really. So
Yeah. Well, I figure we're here to shoot deer, so
Yeah. Actually, I was being very patient, but absolutely Guy, as soon as he sees this deer, this stag, he is after it.
Okay.
He wants to be the one to take it down.
Okay.
Because right now, the scoreboard is Jacques 1, Guy 0.
Very true.
And Guy's about to get 3 points. So Guy's going after that stag.
mhm.
What do I have to roll
well,
to kill
Guy,
stag?
you're gonna have to roll 12 or better on a 12, which is all you could do.
To hit it?
Yep.
It could be a stress roll, so you might get
Oh,
lucky.
but he gets the weapon added to it for the actual attack.
I'm using Jacques' same stats, except you've got
Oh.
for the attack. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd get the plus for the bow.
Well, he
But
can
then
go
it
for
would be Dex plus ability plus weapon. Not that I want to help him, but
So my dex is 2. It doesn't look like I have a weapon ability for bows.
oh, it would be. Oh yeah, huh? So what was all that bragging about?
So wait, yeah, I'm really confused because I can't use bows like at all, or
You would just have a 0 skill ability, I think.
oh, that kind of.
So I really don't think you've got a hope in hell of hitting that stag.
You don't understand. Guy has to kill the stag. Like it has to happen. So it's going to happen. So what did I need to roll? It's
It's going to be your dexterity
okay.
plus
That's
your ability, which is 0.
2 plus 0.
Plus the weapon bonus of 4.
Plus the weapon bonus of 4.
Ah, okay. Damn, actually, wow. That's the case. My attack with my I'm better off trying to sort them.
Across the river.
Yeah, I think it will have gone by then.
Yeah.
Not if I run fast enough.
And you
Across
have
the river.
you have a +2 because you have that puissant single weapon.
Oh, right.
So you can do a +2 on your attack roll.
Oh, okay.
So what would that bring you up to?
So I apologize. My dexterity plus was 2, and then the bow gets 4.
The bow would be 4, and then you would have another 2. So 6. You would have 8.
Ah,
Still, you can't get it.
what? No, come on. Look at this.
You can't.
Look how good that 12 is. It's very good.
What did you just roll?
D10 plus 8. Yeah.
D10 plus. Yeah.
Oh
Oh, to describe my action,
To
like he is
describe.
absolute, like he is taking a shot with the bow as soon as he like has anything that resembles a clean shot.
And his shot lands.
Fucking yeah, it does.
It sails through the air and straight through the throat.
Whoa!
The stag stumbles and then just cleanly falls.
Falls into the river and floats away.
Nope, doesn't fall into the river. It just falls into the undergrowth.
He doesn't say anything, but he gives a knowing glance over at Jacques.
Ugh.
Jacques gives you a nod.
All right.
Alright.
Now
He's not
go.
Jacques not competitive. He just wants the job to get done.
Says
Okay.
every loser.
So Guy, looking over at River now, is like, so how do we get it back across?
How tall is Guy?
So, I don't know. I kind of figured average height, but again,
So 13th century, so about 4'6".
right? It wasn't that bad, right?
No. I assume he's a knight, so I figure he's probably what, 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
He's a tall guy.
That's
You could possibly wade across that river.
Yeah, and I do so.
You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
swim
that's
across
a
with you.
fucking swim. So both of you make your way down to the riverbank. And you're starting to wade your way through the reeds. There's a lot of reeds going on there.
Not that anyone has called out for help with this, but I do have a spell called Lifting the Dangling Puppet.
Actually, as soon as I think as we get closer to the kill, Guy looks over at Jacques and says, "You know, I just remembered that we have wizards. Why don't we go get the wizards?"
Well, actually, you're just making your way through the reeds at the edge of the riverbank, and Guy feels something cold and clammy brush against his hand,
Look.
Ooh.
and
Do
you
I
look
see-
down.
Yeah.
You look down, and in the reeds, you see a small blue mottled hand.
Duh.
Ooh, this might be a body.
like a severed hand.
And as you move the reeds aside, you see the body of a young girl submerged in the water.
Oh, No.
Yowza.
Not pleasant.
yeah. I try to drag the body out.
Okay. So you drag the body to the bank.
Okay, now Jacques sees what's going on here.
Are we making any kind of commotion, calling people? Because I figure I might be kind of far afield. Do I get called?
Yeah.
We're
How
not
far are we?
there,
How far away from me? Are
Oh,
from
you're all within 100 yards of each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I figure if somebody said anything at the top of their
Yeah.
voice about coming back down,
I'll give a shout.
Okay.
Boy, over here.
So, can I roll for detect unholiness since I've got this uneasy feeling and now all of a sudden people are shouting?
I believe you can. I don't have your sheet. Let
I've
me
got the
see.
numbers
Although
in front
it's you have an innate sense of it.
Yeah, and given that
I don't believe he actually needs to roll, does he, Damon?
I don't
Well,
think
there
so.
is-
I don't think so either. I
Okay.
think you just have this sense of holiness and unholiness.
well, let me look at the. Okay. I thought there were more specifics to it than that, but
Hold on, I'm looking it up. No, he does have an ability that he rolls against. He has an ability starting at rank 1 called level 1 called ability, sense holiness and unholiness.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it says you're able to feel the presence of good and evil. In auras of particularly strong divine or infernal influence, your sensitivity may overwhelm you. You have sense holiness and unholiness at level 1, and if you spent more experience points, it could be at better level. But what you get for that, perception plus sense holiness and unholiness against an each factor of 9, lets you sense holiness and unholiness in a general area against 15 in a person or an object.
So you would need a 15 or better.
Okay, I can try. Why not?
So what is your perception?
So my
That's-
perception
That's that
is
PER in characteristics.
+2.
2. And then your holiness and unholiness is 1.
So I could only roll a 13
yeah,
max.
you're
I
not
couldn't
gonna.
hit it.
Yeah.
So on it, you can only do
Okay.
it on a stress die. Like if you happen to roll a 0, then you get to roll it again and double result, and that's how you can get it. It's like
Well,
rolling
just-
20 in D&D.
Well, you could go for it because it's a stressful
Yeah.
situation. You guys
Yeah,
are
it is
under
now.
stress. You'd agree,
Um,
Damon, wouldn't you?
Yeah, roll a 0 is what you want.
So you can
so roll-
you can roll your
Roll 1d10.
Yep.
1d10.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Hope
Ooh,
Ah.
that's the opposite of a 10 and 9.
Yes.
10.
so.
Okay, so that gives me a 13. Do I at least sense
Well, that
unholiness
was
in the
without the
area?
plus.
You get
Yeah.
just no, you just get a sense of repulsion and
Okay, thank you.
no.
Then I suppose I will put down my nets and start moving in their direction too.
Okay.
Thank you.
So once I'm there, like, how old does the body look to me?
To the corpus magus.
Yeah.
You can see that about 15 years old, perhaps. She's brown hair.
How long has this person been dead? Maybe, give or take.
I would say perhaps a week.
Well, that's not bad. I happen to have the spell Whispers Through the Black Gate, which lets me speak to a corpse.
Whoa.
Okay.
You could attempt it.
That sounds useful.
Yeah. All right. Is there any
I
magical?
will say that another thing you have noticed is you notice that she has dirt in her fingernails.
Oh.
Is there like one letter embedded in a
Oh.
fingernail? Sorry, we just started watching Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Rewatching.
Yeah, I noticed stuff like the fingernail stuff because I'm probably getting in my real obsessive mode. Like I think I'd be horrified at first, but like
Well,
would
you
also
notice the both of you notice that she has, she's about 15 years old. She's brown hair. Her skin is covered with pockmarks, just from head to toe.
Oh.
I should
from the-
ask. Jacques
like from
is
the
from
top.
like a local village, and he knows some of the people in the area. Just the top of your head, is this somebody he recognizes as a local?
She does not look familiar to you at all. No.
Okay.
So when you say pockmarks,
She
like
is also
she had pox, maybe?
maybe. All I can tell you is that the skin is covered with pockmarks.
And the
Also,
reason I ask
I
is-
tell you that the body has
Yeah.
been grossly mutilated
Oh. How so?
post-mortem. There are no signs of resistance or violence.
yeesh.
Is there a magical aura to aid or hinder me in this casting?
You could attempt a casting.
Yeah, that's why I'm
You're
asking.
attempting Whispers Through the Black Gate.
Yeah.
Well, you sense that she's already been given a Christian burial.
Oh, really? Yeah, that won't work. I was wondering about that with the fingers.
Ooh.
I'm gonna attempt it anyway. It'll just fail if she had a Christian burial, so this will prove it one way or the other. Why didn't that work? Oh, it's right. It's got to use the bang.
Exclamation! Yeah.
Yeah.
The bang.
Oh, editing doesn't work. Okay. There it is. 24. I exceed it by a whole bunch.
You do, but it fails.
It fails. So this person has definitely had Christian
She
burial.
has received a Christian burial. Is there anything else you can do?
Well, I'm curious about. I want to like the dirt. Like, does it look anything at all like the dirt around here?
It looks similar.
Jacques will take a quick look. The mutilations, does it look like animals? He would probably be able to
No.
notice that. No, okay.
No, they look like they were done with instruments.
All right. Jacques going to go start working on the deer. He knows his usefulness is done here.
Oh, dead body, cool. Off to the deer.
Yeah.
He
So-
is going to kind of
Yeah,
watch the Magi kind of work over this body with a sort of shocked horror. And he looks over to oh goodness, Garçon is like, preacher is friar? What was it? I can't remember. Friar is that something that they should be doing right now? I don't know the protocol here.
At this point, Garçon is so overcome with compassion that he's barely intelligible. He's a blubbering mess at this point.
Oh goodness.
Oh
gracious.
yeah, he's a sensitive boy, isn't he?
Yes,
Oh,
he is. He's just crying about this poor girl, and yes, he's muttering about desecrating corpses and how we have to put her back in the ground, but it's pretty unintelligible.
So what I'm gonna do?
Gertima,
Yeah.
at this moment seems to receive fragments of a vision in her head,
Okay.
and she sees a young girl in a village, and she sees some candles, and that's all she sees.
The girl in her village, candles.
That's all she sees.
I relay all that to Simon.
And Simon, perhaps maybe you could maybe do an Intelligo Corpus.
Yes, I intend to. I'm gonna aim for a level 10, which says it senses all useful information about a body.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and expend a fatigue level. So this total will be divided by 2.
Okay.
Let's see here. So I need to roll a d10.
Wow, the feel of this game took a turn.
It's pretty grim. Hold on a second. It's not that.
Yeah, weren't we just talking with bunnies like 20 minutes ago?
So my casting total is going to be for spontaneous here. It's going to be 16, right? Yeah, 16.
Mhm.
Okay, and then divide by 2. So I got an 11.
And it confirms your suspicions that the pockmarks are from the pox. And
Which I could
that is what led to her death.
Okay.
And the mutilations clearly came after.
Mutilations come after.
Clearly post-mortem.
These mutilations, you say they're from instruments? Like, are these blunt instruments, sharp instruments?
Sharp instrument.
Is there a pattern to them?
There seems to be like symbols, and just there's also seems to have been some organ removal.
What?
Ugh.
But I mean, this is the 13th century.
So what organs would have been removed?
As I said, this is the 13th century.
The heart,
They're
which
just-
is where all the thinking happens.
The
is gone.
melancholy organ,
Yeah.
Sure, the heart.
the soul.
The heart has been removed.
But
She's
the
got
liver's
black
still there, and
bile
that's the important
everywhere.
organ.
And there are also can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, there are also, some symbols carved into her, but they mean nothing to you. You've never seen their like before.
I suggest we take her back to the Covenant and see if one of the Elder Magi can identify these symbols.
I think that's a very good idea. I will also point out that as you were leaving, pass through a graveyard in the Covenant.
Right.
So solemnly, you gather up your nets. You did manage to fill your traps and your nets with a sizable catch of rabbits and voles, and you also got an enormous stag
And a doe.
Fucking
and a
big,
doe.
big boy.
So you gloomily trudge your way back to the Covenant,
Okay.
and you present the girl to Jean-Marie, and his demeanor has changed towards you, and he asks you, "Do any of you recognize this girl? Is she from our Covenant?"
Yeah.
I'm assuming not.
No.
None of our graves have been disturbed.
Eesh.
Oh, there's a thought.
I didn't check.
Yeah.
Well, Simon of Gerberton, check. Go and check.
I will go and immediately check.
As a man with the cloth, I'll go with him.
Good
Yes.
Make
thought.
sure he
Actually,
doesn't
thank
do
you.
any.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to say to Jean-Marie, like, we should probably send someone to tell the town proper in case she's not from our Covenant.
Where did you find her?
She was in the river amongst the reeds.
Well, then she can't have come from Narbonne. She must have floated down river.
Or someone placed her there from the nearby town.
Yeah, but Narbonne. Narbonne is down.
Downstream.
Narbonne is downstream from us. She must have come from upstream. And the next town, there's a village upstream, about a day and a half's ride from here, called Lazare. I would go and check there. These markings disturb me, though, because these look like the work of Diabolists.
Really?
Duh.
Maybe-
And that's all we need is Diabolists in this area.
Hmm.
And if it's not Diabolists, perhaps it's grave robbers. Just disguise their work with these mutilations. I don't understand the symbols. The symbols mean nothing to me.
Hmm.
Maybe they're Greek. They don't. They just look like gibberish.
Could they be gibberish to kind of to scare people about?
That's what I wonder. I wonder if perhaps they're to conceal the work of grave robbers. Either way, we're talking about Diabolists or grave robbers. Neither of which we need
Right.
in
And
our
I'm
Covenant.
I'm assuming the
Or-
Covenant graveyard shows no disturbances, right?
It does not good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Well,
I'm going to suggest that you all travel to Vizay
Vizay.
and see if this is where this girl originated from, or at least they need to be warned, because they either have Diabolists at work there or grave robbers at work, and we can't afford to have them at our Covenant because we cannot afford to have attention drawn to us.
Yeah. I would agree with
Understood.
Firstly, priest.
Mhm.
Can you afford this child a Christian burial in our yard?
Absolutely.
Well, then see to it. See to it that it's done. And the rest of you should head to Vizay in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it right
Okay.
there.
No, that's a
Cool.
good stopping point.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Column.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
did I do all right?
No.
that's
Yeah,
Ars Magica.
I shot a big fucking boy.